Hello, happiest of days to each of you folks, man. I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing, awesome day. One of the best you've ever had in your entire life. For you folks, today is Monday. I typically will do reviews of classic tabletop RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons or war games like Battletech and that sort of a thing too, right? And so I thought you might think it's nice and fun for me to do my next review for you folks. This is N2. Now, just as a heads up, if I have left my phone not on silent mode because I am expecting, in case I'm expecting an Amazon Fresh delivery starting in about half an hour or so from when I'm recording this. I do want to leave myself open to that possibility, just as a heads up in case that happens. All right, but here we go. So this is my review of Into the Forest Oracle last week. I did the classic and one against the Temple of the Reptile God, rather, by Douglas Niles. That really sort of was here, and it was a strong start. In fact, it's actually considered today one of the best modules of all time. It made it to the top 30. And that sort of a thing too, right? So here, now this was a nature. So the N here stands for newer players, and that sort of a thing too. It's designed to be on board. This is published in 1984. It's for first edition, and it kind of might be a kind of what does. You can probably set it in a lot of different campaigns, and that sort of a thing too. It's for levels 2 to 4. Although I would consider the previous one to be much harder with combat, just as it's written by Carl Smith. The cover art here is great. It's by Keith Parkinson. Also, the interior art here is great too. It's by Jeff Easley. And I have, unfortunately, run this as both a player and as a DM to just heads up. So the plot here is fairly generic, and it's pretty by the numbers. Your party, and so you're arriving to an area that's been cursed, and so now there is only a nearby great druid can lift this curse that's destroying crops and livestock, right? And that's sort of the thing. That's where that Forest Oracle title comes from, right? It's pretty simple. Pretty by the numbers too, but here's where the stuff starts to set you down. All right, so first of all, in this module are tons of these giant leaps of logic. It even has better writing here and there too, right? It was not edited, I don't think. The previous one, if you recall, was just written in like 4 weeks, but I think it was probably edited. It was probably play tested, right? And that sort of a thing too. But this one just clearly wasn't, and that sort of a thing too, right? And so here. So, for example, let me give you a couple of the leaps of logic. One is that there is a lumberjack who is working in the forest, and that sort of a thing too. His significant other is a fake creature, and that sort of a thing too. And he falls asleep. Okay, and so she will come to you and asking for your aid to help him out, okay? But it doesn't like any magic, though. He just had to slap him awake, right? And that's sort of a thing, too. I'm like, why couldn't she do that, right? Well, and I guess you'll have to think, was she too distraught? That doesn't make any sense. Also, the lumberjack in the forest, that is a fighter, but he doesn't use an axe. So, like, if you look at his weapons, that is sort of a thing, too. It's a little weird if you have to fight with him too, and his stat block doesn't make sense too. And then also you later on, for you folks, you have actually earlier on, unfortunately, you'll come across an inn that was set up and run by a retired thief, adventurer, halfling, good stuff, and that sort of a thing too. But even though he is a thief, and that sort of a thing too, and he runs this inn. There is a secret passage between various rooms, and that his were-rat guests, when they're there, and they pay well so he doesn't suspect them of the thieving that's going on from the rooms that are happening at night. And that sort of a thing too. He's just totally oblivious. He just didn't even notice that stuff was happening, right? I'm like, first of all, you're a thief. Second of all, you sure, right? You're retired. You should have some experience. And second of all, this is your business too, right? Why? Didn't you check for secret passages? Wouldn't you sort of connect that these disappearances from the were-rats were happening, from the guests were happening when the were-rats were there too, right? It's a weird leap of logic too. Also, the writing here, totally bad too. Now, I did play this as both a player and as a dungeon master. Just as a heads up, I agree with everybody who says this is just not a good module. It's not edited well. You can tell it was just done quickly as a sequel to the previous one, and that sort of a thing too. So I'm just giving this a 0 out of 10. I'm sorry, 1 out of 10 for the art. The art's great, and that sort of a thing too. But that's it. This is getting a 1 out of 10. So that's the 4-star article for you folks. For have you and that sort of a thing too. Have you played it? Have you run it? Have you done both, like myself? And that sort of a thing too. I'd love to sort of engage you with it further. In the comments below, do you think it's worth that a better rating? I don't think so, but if you do, I'm happy to sort of talk you with it. Do you all agree with me that this is just not worth your time and investment, or even cash either? And that sort of a thing to agree with me. This definitely. Typically, I don't like to do reviews of older things like this that are a little less well received. Right? My channel's all about the positive side of things and that sort of a thing too, but I'm doing a series, so I gotta commit. You start with the Star Strong, then the Strong Zenith, and now the Nature in this series. There are only a few more. I didn't play any of them, just heads up, so I won't be doing them. Next up, I'll move to the I series and that sort of a thing too. All right, but we'll check that out next for you folks. But then let me know what your thoughts are too, all up and down the box. Now remember, I'm currently here at a new place, as you can tell from all those things too. So I don't have as much time to record or edit and that sort of a thing too. So I'm doing this on Sunday before I publish this on Monday night. So that I have time for, but typically this is not going to be something just as a heads up. I typically like to do modules here on Mondays. And that sort of a thing. I did do over video game reviews on Wednesday too. First Serial Saturday for the Lost and Forgotten Things, and then also sometimes some top 10s on Fridays too. And then the initial 3 things that started with this channel are reviews of older fiction things that you're reading, and science fiction, fantasy, horror too for you folks. Alright, so hopefully something there in that list will sound like something you're interested in, right? And will sort of ignite your passion. And if not, no losses. I'm not going to lose any sleep. Don't feel pressured. But if you are, please do all the YouTube stuff too, likes, all that stuff too. And there we go for you folks. As you can tell, finding these things for you, it's definitely the passion, right, of this channel to find them for you folks. And that sort of a thing too. It's even where its name comes from too. The worst thing about new books. That's a quote by a French philosopher, Jean Joubert, who says that the worst thing about them was actually that they kept us, from reading the old stuff too. So let's make sure you check out that stuff. Not that the new stuff is bad, by default, but in our passion for the new distractions, we sometimes have forgotten, right, that these things, they are standing on the shoulders of giants. And one of the things I like to do for this channel is to go out there and find Gary Gygax, who helped to co-create this game, Appendix N, and find out all of his influences, and I appreciate that more as a part of that channel, and life too, right? So check it out. All right, and there, I want to thank you so very, very much, for just taking some time out of your day and you investing it and watching my video, right? Because at the end of the day, we all have so many things, right, that are happening in our lives, and we're even pulled in so many different directions too. So the fact you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate that so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.